Welcome to Florida Mint on Florida Man with Josh Mills and Wayne McCarty, the podcast where Floridians discuss the legends and lore and crazy stories that always seem to take place in Florida. We are here this evening with Mike and Nate, the co-founders of Mike and Mike's. How are you, fellas?
I'm good. How you doing, sir?
Dude,
good, man.
Dude, honestly, we're big fans. We're glad to have you on.
Been in communication for a while.
Yeah, it's a long time coming,
Got
man.
fans.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
100%. We're glad to be here.
Can you say briefly what it is you guys do?
Well, we are a free from bakery.
Okay.
So basically, that means there is no nuts, no dairy, no eggs in our product, but it still tastes good.
Okay.
How?
That's the key. That's the key.
How?
No
though?
animal products.
That's the
Wow.
secret
in
sauce,
these
man.
bakery items.
Okay.
Now here's the thing: we love eating stuff.
That's
do.
one thing that we really relate.
Yeah. Sometimes we'll skip work just to eat.
Yeah.
So
I feel that. I feel that.
So
we
what-
didn't even say what you make. You make desserts.
right. So what would
Yes,
be your
desserts,
key
yes.
product?
Currently, cupcakes.
Okay.
Cupcakes is the
Yeah,
it's a
currently.
staple. Everybody knows what a cupcake is.
Everybody does.
Cupcake King.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So
My
later.
nickname in high school too. Not Cupcake King, just Cupcake.
Right. Exactly.
Just because my hugs.
How'd you feel about that?
I loved
That
it.
nickname.
Come
That-
on, Cupcake.
That's
And
what
I'm
the
like,
football
Wait,
team called
coach. Yeah.
Oh,
Wait, coach.
That's how we met, actually.
uh-oh.
No, but so later on in the episode, we're gonna try some of the stuff. We're super excited about that.
Okay, cool.
But in the meantime, you guys brought some headlines, right?
We did.
Absolutely, man.
Awesome.
All right.
Alrighty. So, honestly, I had a little trouble finding this, but
Okay.
the first article we found was Florida woman cited for keeping alligator in a bathtub at her hotel,
Okay.
which is insane. Like, who does that? But,
I
I mean,
mean-
that's so Florida, though. So it
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah, because it's not naturally
Indeed.
born there.
No.
So the transportation of the alligator
That some of these crimes you have to go. Okay, is this spur of the moment? Is it
was
it
an emotional.
a crime of passion?
Yeah.
This was planned, man.
Premeditated.
This is premeditated.
Yeah.
This gator was taken from its home
Yeah.
to not even her home,
A hotel.
to a hotel and put
Okay.
into a bathtub.
You
For a
think-
good time.
Yeah, definitely for a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
For
maybe
who,
she
though,
had
the
a
gator or her?
maybe she
Who
had
knows?
a shower only, like
crazy
at
people
her
out there.
house, and then the tub. She's like,
Oh.
I got to replicate its natural habitat.
I see.
It's funny because the article said she borrowed the animal without permission. It's like, obviously.
From what, Mother
It's a
Nature?
one night stand with the gator.
Yeah.
From the earth.
Where is she
Wow.
returning it?
It's
though?
like, it's like, what's going on
What's
here?
the hourly rate?
Wow.
So okay, so she takes this gator back to the hotel. How did someone find out?
I feel
about
like it's
it?
a motel. I feel like hotels really give
Motel
it.
It's a good
Yeah,
question.
it's definitely motel.
I think she posted on social media, from my understanding. Like, she took photos and posted.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, just like
This
Check
is
out
de-
my
yeah.
date.
this is definitely a one-floor establishment,
Yeah.
and
Bingo.
they put it in a bathtub.
Yep.
And then she posts. So who were the responding authorities? Do we know? Like, did the cops just kind of come knock on the door and go, "Yo,
Yeah.
you can't have
It's
a
probably
gator"?
a rule of the
That's
motel,
a
though.
good question.
Yeah, because here's my thing, man.
Like no reptiles.
We
I
did something
assume.
similar at university. This is true. We took a alligator into the dorm rooms and put it in the shower, and we had all of our homies come look at it. And then one of them opened his mouth and told the RA, and the RA comes and goes, "What are you doing?"
What
And
the heck?
he was wondering why we were all gathered in the bathroom.
But
and
there
I-
was no written rule about it.
There was nothing in writing that said we can't bring an alligator to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And he said, just because it's not in writing doesn't mean it's not.
What possessed y'all to do that, though?
I think
He borrowed an alligator. I mean, it's right there. I don't know what else.
I think
There's
just
an alligator
pretty
available.
Florida man
man.
spirit.
Yeah.
It's a Florida man
Yeah.
spirit, bro.
He got it early.
Yeah. So
Jeez.
So if we hand it over, let's just say hypothetically, our gift to you is an alligator. It's under 3 feet. It's friendly. Where are you going to put it?
that's a great question.
You're not going to leave it. You can't leave it.
True.
The bathtub is a
The
natural
bathtub's a
response.
natural.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Or just in a lake on the way home.
That's probably best. Or the gutter, right? Because then it gets a ooze on it, and then they
I know
grow
some people
up.
eat alligator, so
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
alligator bites. I'm just
I think
saying.
I've had alligator bites.
It's pretty
Yeah.
good.
Probably catfish country or something like
Correct.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yes,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
For a lot of folks who listen, they don't realize that, like in Florida, like gators in a lot of areas are it's overpopulated,
Absolutely.
right? So you have to hunt them. It's conservation.
yep.
It protects people, protects other species, and so because of that, there are gator on the menus at some places.
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
And it tastes like
Because you
chicken.
can't just grow a gator tail.
So do you like gator?
I honestly do. but it's not like not in a way that makes me sound like a Cajun fella. Like I don't eat it like regularly,
Yeah.
but when I've had it, I enjoyed it.
It's good.
Yeah, I don't. Have you ever had a bad meat?
That's a good question.
Wow, have I ever had bad meat?
I don't think I
could
have.
Go on for hours here about bad meat. Yeah, I mean his name was Steve.
Oh,
Yeah, it was the summer of spring break.
Steve, who's Steve?
Yeah, and bad meat.
Let's talk about this.
Yeah,
Who's
no,
Steve?
it was. We met at the terrace, and bad meat.
you said he was
Just
a
had-
terrorist.
Yeah, I had chorizo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, no. In all seriousness, man, I've never had a like bad meat. But my dad gave me anxiety growing up. He would overcook chicken because he was
wow.
terrified of like salmonella and stuff like that.
Even
so
if
was
you
it
had a
dry?
thermometer
So
on it,
always
oh my-
dry.
Dry's
Always
not
dry.
the word.
Yeah.
But
wow.
then I inherited not just bad cooking, but the fear of undercooking meat.
Yeah.
So I brought that into my marriage, and I'm trying to make chicken for my wife, and she's like, I can't eat this, and I'm like, yeah, but you won't get sick. You know what I'm saying? Like
That's not my concern.
that's the
yeah.
trade-off.
But you also can't swallow either.
Yeah, no.
exactly.
It's
You just
turn
chew
into-
for like
It's a
10
double
minutes.
negative.
Paper
Yeah.
mache is
Right.
happening.
Oh man, that's
So
crazy.
headline number one, Nate, that was incredible.
Did
man.
she get arrested?
I don't think so.
All right.
The one thing I didn't add is she got it from or borrowed it from the place that she used to work, Croc Encounters. So it's kind of ironic.
Okay.
So she-
Okay.
She already know how to steal it.
So,
Damn.
Yeah.
so like you
She
said, it
had
was
a
definitely
key.
premeditated.
Inside job.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I love the phrase borrowed because it implies she's like, I'm gonna bring it back. Just
Yeah.
let me have an
I
evening.
don't have a bathtub everywhere.
yeah, on Instagram Live with
Yeah.
this gator.
Croc
Uh,
encounters though, and she got an alligator.
That's it. So Mike, you gotta beat that, man.
Yeah,
Nate,
it's on me next. I think I could beat that. So
Okay.
Gatorland introduces alligator missing upper jaw. What should it be named?
This was fun. I tried to
Okay.
participate in this, but all my names kept coming out dirty.
so the upper jaw
And
of
I mean,
this
it's
gator
literally it's gone.
is
Yeah,
gone.
it's gone.
Okay.
I don't know what it's eating.
Yeah, I don't know how it's eating. Yeah,
I don't know how it's eating.
I thought they were having to
it's
syringe
weird.
it.
Yeah.
I saw someone on Instagram when I saw the gator. I was like, "Oh, gross." That was my first reaction, and I felt bad.
That's hurtful.
Yeah, and then someone underneath is like, "Name it Spoon," and I'm like, "Cool, I could get there."
Yeah. What do they list any of the names people are writing in so far?
Not yet.
So the upper jaw's missing,
Yeah,
Yeah, I can show you guys.
Yeah, it's
So
weird
It's
looking.
pretty.
and it's just like
It's
a.
pretty.
Oh man, I feel bad.
I
now.
know because it's so tiny.
I feel
Yeah.
bad now.
And the confidence, though, I feel like he's got
It's pretty bad.
confidence.
You know
but-
those pugs, those little short dogs that don't live
Yeah.
a long time, and
Yeah.
and they go.
Yeah.
They all get the default
Oh,
face.
you're saying cut
Yep.
the rest of the jaw off.
I'm s-
That's barbaric. I don't agree with Wayne.
I'm just
Here.
saying, if I'm going to look at a gator with no upper lip, I think I'd rather it be just no lips. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just a flat face
Yeah,
gator.
just a bum, bum.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
No
All right.
this.
All right, so let's off the cuff, man.
Yeah.
Let's go down the line, starting with Josh.
Okay.
What would you name it?
Uh,
Gator's got no upper lip.
no upper lip. Okay,
a
let
tough
me
one. I'm trying
picture
to
it.
think.
God, I'm stuck with Spoon. I really liked Spoon.
Yeah, but you already said somebody else named that.
Okay, come back. Come back to me. You gotta give me more time.
Okay, the professional says come back to him.
Yeah.
See, that's
Nate.
tough, man. That's
I know.
tough to be put on the spot.
Okay.
Oh man.
Because I'm thinking half teeth, right? That's what I would call
Okay, half teeth.
Because
Because you call full gator full teeth.
I,
Yeah, that makes sense.
how many times have we been on a boat together
Yeah.
and I've seen a gator and I go, look at that full teeth.
0 times.
Okay, whatever. No, I think here's the thing, dude. This thing
Scoop.
Oh, okay.
Scoop is good.
Okay, thank you.
Can
I
we go
win.
with Can we go with
I'm gonna
Scoop?
go with
Scoop is
Scoop.
solid.
Yeah, there
Yeah.
you go.
That's
Can we
solid.
go,
I like
I
that.
love that.
Yeah.
I love Scoop.
All right, so back to you, Nate. Man, close us out. One more headline.
Okay. Yep. I got you.
Nate thought I was asking for another
Yeah.
name.
Yeah. I was
He
like,
got
yeah,
real
I can't-
flustered.
You can do
yeah, I
it.
was
You
like,
can do
I
either.
can't- I can't think of
He's
anything.
like, what?
Oh.
I can't top it, man. I just can't.
Or if
Yeah.
it's just jaw.
Someone
Instead
on
of
someone
Jaws,
on
call him
live stream
Jaw.
just said, Justin just said, Gator no bites. I like that. I love that. Croc strong jaw.
Well, that's yeah. I mean, I like JMOS, but I don't like that answer.
So this just keeps surrounding animals. and
Okay.
That's just what we're gonna go with.
Let's go.
So bear at Disney Magic Kingdom captured. Florida officials say.
See, I thought this was an Onion
Ooh.
article. When it came up, a bear loose at Disney, I was like, fake.
That's got to be so bad for their marketing, man. Because
bear.
because they push everything like It's the most
Family
magical
friend-
place
no
on
bears.
earth, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Bring your family. There's no bears here.
Yeah.
And then there's a loose bear in the Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, the bear was spotted in a tree near Big Thunder Mountain Railroad.
Oh, that's the spot to be, though.
yeah, that's pretty wild.
and,
Yeah.
but
You're
here,
just chilling with your family and just boom.
and you know,
Is
you
that
got,
an
funny.
animatronic?
they're like, man, Disney's
Yeah.
Could have been Baloo.
the
Yeah.
robots at
Yeah.
Disney look great.
They
It's
do.
true. Yeah.
And then the bear's like, I'm gonna eat somebody.
Yeah.
It's a bare necessity for sure. So,
100%. So what was it was spotted and it was captured? You said it was.
From my understanding, it was quickly captured. I mean, Disney, they got to act fast.
Yeah, but it
There's
got all
lots
the
of
way
massive
in,
liability,
right?
yeah.
With no ticket. I think that's the big.
That's the
yeah, they're
He
gonna take
didn't
him
pay
to
to
court.
get in.
Yeah.
bro. They'll put
They
him down for that.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
We snuck in my great aunt because I had 3 aunts, and my great
Somehow.
aunt Sassy snuck her in without a ticket, and they put her down.
You ever seen a movie Cape? You ever seen a movie Cape
Savages,
Fear?
bro. Savages.
Cape Fear. They hang. The bad guy hangs under a car. That's how they got Aunt Sassy in.
What do you?
What?
Why do you go back to that?
That's Cape Fear. I don't know.
You
Robert
go,
De Niro.
you go, they hang. The fat guy hangs.
No,
Golly.
Robert De Niro is hanging under a car in the movie Cape Fear.
That
Jamos knows what I'm talking about.
That is how we snuck in my Aunt Sassy. No,
Yeah.
I will say this, man.
It's scary, though.
I've never had, and Disney used to be a sponsor, so I'm not trying to like
That was like half an episode
pipe them up or anything.
they consider sponsoring.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I don't. I never had a bad experience there. Really. I mean, like they go out of their way to make sure I feel safe, but they passed out. I feel like some complimentary tickets that day.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, because I could be in Tomorrowland on the other side.
No bears in tomorrow now.
And I hear there's a bear at Big
wow,
Thunder. I'm
true.
like, hey, I'm scared, man. I need some tickets. You know what I
Drama.
mean? Like,
Yeah,
you traumatize my
immediately.
kids. I need year
Immediately.
passes.
That just shows you their security's not that good.
Oh, wait a minute. We know what you're saying, right?
I mean, a bear can run in.
If a bear can sneak in, we can sneak
I
in.
just want to know what happened. I want to know
you.
if people froze, if people ran away, if people
Right,
thought it was
right.
fake. Yeah, that's what I want to know.
I think the majority of the folks thought it was fake. I really,
yeah,
especially because it couldn't have been at a better ride.
Who would think a bear?
You're
is
right.
in-
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
the
Like,
balloon.
Correct.
If
Wasn't
you-
Baloo on that?
Correct.
Right?
I think so. If you saw a
Well, it's
bear,
like yeah, you're right. The railroad ride. Yep.
Yeah.
Mm.
or what the singing bears,
Yeah, I think it's
Yep.
part of that.
they have the disorder. What's it called? Country Bear Jamboree.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that disorder is called racism. Yeah.
Rednecks, bro.
Yep.
I won't take my kids to that ride. I'm like, I can't explain, but something's not right.
Yeah.
We're not gonna go over
They're
there.
that easy to influence. Like, you can't go on a jamboree.
Yeah, we can't go on Jamboree, bro.
I've been on that since I was a kid and I understood that. That's hilarious. That's absolutely hilarious. Wow.
Hey, fellas.
Hello, Josh.
So we're here with Mike and Nate of Mike and Mike.
There
That's
you
it.
go.
Nice.
That's
There you
it.
go.
Phew.
There
That's
it
how we
is.
get people.
The
There it
tongue
is.
twister. And I started looking at the odds, the percentages of being a rock star or being a professional athlete or a celebrity, and they were very minimal. But I think what you guys have done is even a smaller percentage. Like someone would have a better percentage at being a celebrity, a rock star, a professional athlete than what you have accomplished.
Right.
I mean,
That's true.
This is a black owned, male co-founded baking company, cupcake company, dessert company,
Right.
Yep.
and your wholesale and your in stores, which has to be just a huge hurdle.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't know where to begin besides like
It's tough.
bringing something to the general manager and
Yeah.
saying, "How many do you want?"
Right.
I mean, I
Yeah,
would-
for
yeah.
sure.
Yeah,
for
And,
sure.
well, the first thing I would be like, how do I turn the oven on? Because I got baked these, right? But like, I don't. Where did you start? How did you get going? And now you're at this level. Like it had to be baby steps. It can't be like, boom, we're here, we're in Publix and Chamberlain's and all over.
Yeah, it took some time. Yeah, initially started with me. Started with my mom's her recipes. These are all just regular recipes. Got
These
eggs,
are like
got
a-
milk. So it's total opposite of what you guys see now.
Okay,
Yeah. So they're all the southern,
all
red
right.
velvet, all that
Yeah.
good stuff.
Yeah.
But
So
I guess the first account I went to was Circle K. So I would drive there every day for like 3 months, just trying to open up some doors. So I
Okay.
went out the gate and go big or go
Like,
home.
like the same one.
with the original
With the
recipe,
originals, yeah. With the
Oh
originals.
wow. Okay.
So after that fell through,
and you have packaging and everything. Like you're not just bringing them in like by the
Yeah.
handful, like a basket in a basket.
it was- Well, yeah. Well,
It was pretty bootstrapped.
it was
back
pretty
then.
short. I had a white Lancer, '09 white Lancer, and had a
All
cooler,
right, Mitsubishi.
cooler with cupcakes in the cooler. So
Wow.
That's
I
awesome.
drove,
though.
drove everywhere between Tampa and Orlando to try to open up
Did
the
you,
doors.
what was your success like doing that though? I mean, because you obviously opened doors. I'm assuming at some point. So were people receptive whenever you would show up?
Oh, they were, but it was, it's still kind of they knew I was small, so they kind of didn't know like
Right.
what is he doing serious? What is he gonna do? But I always showed up. I had a composition book with every list of like every person I went to. I can't find a book for nothing in the world, but
That's cool though.
That's wild.
Like I've already hit this spot. If I gotta go somewhere else.
yeah, I had it, knew who it was. I had a number, I had a name for everybody I needed to talk to. But
So at all these recipes, you're like, I'm doing cupcakes.
yeah, I'm doing cupcakes. 'Cause I knew what my mom had, the recipe she had, and everybody always ordered from. I said, well, let me see if I could try to put this in the store
Cool.
and replicate that on a
Right.
mass scale. 'Cause
Yeah.
I knew how much money I could make with it.
Right.
But
Were they your favorite? Like,
Yeah.
were you like, these are the these
they're
are the
good. I don't
best?
eat them no more. No, I'm not trying to get in the gym, trying to stay
Okay.
right. But,
Okay.
yeah, that was
So that's the beginning. That's the origin. Did the change to, remove the animal products? Did that come before or after you met Nate? Like what was the next step there?
so when the Circle K deal kind of fell through, that was like 400 gas stations at the time. So when that fell through, I kind of called Nate and I re-engineered everything to be plant-based. So that's when I called Nate and we kind of put this whole structure together that you guys see from the back end.
Mm-hmm.
And I could let him fill in.
Yeah, it was
a
kind of
little
one of
bit
those things where it's like, okay, well, if Hostess is kind of box us out with all this other stuff that's inside the product, why don't
Garbage. We hate
Yeah,
Hostess.
Garbage.
why don't we
People
make
garbage.
it,
Yeah.
taste
But you still eat
just
it,
as
so.
good as
Yeah.
the products that are out there with all without all the bad ingredients.
That's
And so that was
cool.
that was a huge hurdle to kind of get past, but it put us in like this niche market with massive opportunity, and that's kind of when we were starting to really scale.
The trial and error, though,
Oh man,
of
Oh,
getting
God.
getting it to taste good, but removing key ingredients.
Correct.
I assume these are key ingredients,
Yeah,
right?
very key ingredients.
yeah, it's very tough
In any
It's very
recipe.
tough.
Well,
Very tough.
let me tell you, this is a true story, and I have no experience here, but our editor Suzette is sitting in the room, and one day I brought some muffins into the office, and she said, "What's in these?" And I go, "Oh, like 3 ingredients," and she goes, "What are the ingredients?" And I go, "Peanut butter, I think some oatmeal."
Flour.
And I think I don't know what's in there. And she was like, "That's impossible. Like, there's no way." And I was completely wrong. I say that to say I don't know anything about baking, but what I do know is most products have the eggs. They have that kind of stuff. So
We got like 40 ingredients.
Yeah.
Right.
right, yeah, exactly, yeah, a ton. So for you both to kind of simplify that and go a little more, a healthier route, more natural route. What was your first step into that? Like, man, like where do we even start?
Yeah, that's a good question. So there was a baker that Mike knew that came up with like the original variations of the recipes, and it's funny because you think you have a recipe that works, and you test it in the kitchen, but then if you test it on what we call professional equipment, so we don't actually manufacture any of it like at like a catapult. We have we call co-manufacturing, large scale bakeries that can manufacture the product.
Okay.
So we had to basically scale the product, and it tasted good, and then re-engineer it to make it work for scale.
Right.
And that
Yeah.
took, basically 3 years to get.
Because
to
you
this
can't just
point.
like
To this point.
multiply
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
'cause
Yes.
that doesn't keep all
so
the
they're pumping
flavors the
out
same.
thousands of cupcakes. A shift.
Goodness.
I mean, that stresses me out to get
Yeah.
a product that you go, man, I love this. I love the way it looks. I love the way it tastes.
Right.
And now we got to scale it
Correct.
like that. Just hearing it stresses me out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because
You
it's
can't
like,
just put times 100 next to everything.
I
right?
wish, yeah.
Yeah, people don't. I don't think people actually realize if you go on the shelf how hard it is to.
We
get
have
that
no
product.
idea.
You
I
have
can
no
tell
idea.
you, as people, yeah, we
Oh, I
have
like
no
this,
idea.
like the price. I'm just take it, throw it in my bag.
Yep.
You just have no clue
No
how hard
clue.
it
like the
is.
work that goes in. Well, so you said that took 3 years to get that original like taste back. Is that what the flavor
Well,
profile?
the flavor profile, the taste, all that, and then for it
Formulation.
Texture's gotta
and
be
then
big.
for it to work on professional equipment to make thousands of cupcakes at a time in order to scale that. That's what that entire process took.
Yeah, we just
basically
didn't.
3.5 years.
We didn't know. We didn't know.
Yeah, we
So
didn't
you're
know
not
at the
just
beginning.
changing like the cake itself. You have to change the icing also.
The icing
Correct.
was-
Okay.
Yeah.
Why not
Yeah.
throw another one in?
Yeah,
Yeah,
just throw a little.
throw another
extra.
variable in.
But you know what's crazy about that, man? And I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I mean, a lot of folks will get to that point and go like, man, it's impossible.
You can't scale.
It's impossible. But you for 3 years fought against that to make it happen. I think it's living proof that like consistency is king, right?
Oh,
I
absolutely.
mean,
Yeah, we live by that.
yeah, because I mean, the only 100% chance you have of failure is quitting.
Correct.
So I mean, you guys are proof that hey, just don't quit, man. You keep pushing at it. And so how long have you been all together? Like, how long has this been happening as a company?
Almost 5 years, right, Mike?
Yeah, about 5 years. Yeah. About 5
Yeah, so
years.
people are seeing this now, but they don't
Yeah.
realize all of the work. Because Mike originally pitched me the concept in 2018 at a
Yeah.
Starbucks.
Goodness.
Oh wow.
So yeah,
Mhm,
yeah.
mhm.
So it's
Yep.
taken that amount of time to iterate and figure it out. And like you said, there's a lot of challenges. There's a lot of co-manufacturers that thought we were crazy. They're like, there's
Yeah.
not a market for that. Nobody's gonna eat a cupcake that doesn't have eggs and nuts. But there's consumers out there that have dietary restrictions that can't. So
Right.
the market is, finally responding, but it took that amount of
The
time
effort.
to get there.
Yeah.
Correct. Yep.
What would you say like to the average listener who is going, okay, like what's your top 2 products? Like sell them on it. What's your top 2 cupcakes where they can go, man, like I want to go out and get them right now.
Chocolate
Strawberry.
and strawberry.
Yeah.
Yeah, chocolate and strawberry are the best for sure.
Really?
For sure.
Don't get me wrong, the vanilla's good, but everybody loves chocolate.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, Josh was saying before we went on the air,
Yep.
our original podcast name was Triple Vanilla.
Yeah. Could get
Don't sleep on the
listeners.
vanilla.
That's-
now.
Yeah.
Right.
You had to go
Don't sleep on
Neapolitan.
The triple vanilla.
So with this, is it the same? I mean, obviously, don't give away any trade secrets, but is it the same baseline ingredients for each flavor? Like, how does that differentiate?
Yeah. There's a base formula, and then we can kind of build from there. For sure,
Okay.
just to make it.
Yeah, the foundation. Then
Yeah.
you just build on whatever flavor is to match that foundation. Is kind of
Yeah.
Was it like year 2 where you're like, okay, this is impossible. We can't cut all these ingredients, right? Was there any time where you're like, we can't do this?
That's a good question.
Yeah, there was a couple times. It wasn't. We can't do this. It was just we were running up against roadblocks of like who can actually manufacture this at scale.
Right.
Because your co-packer also has to be clean and not have like that stuff in their machines, like eggs and
To a certain extent, you can get away with some things, but
Yeah.
like finding someone like a great example is like nuts is a massive allergy. Finding someone that has a nut-free facility was almost impossible. But
Wow.
Yeah, we talked to everybody you could think of.
Yeah.
To get this.
we wouldn't even
Product.
know. Yeah. I see a product on the shelf and I don't think anything.
You don't think? Yeah.
I don't
none of
think
us do.
about any of the work that
None
goes
of
into
us
it.
do.
Right.
Yeah, it's one
None
of those
of
things
us
that you
do.
don't realize until you're in it. So when Mike and I walk into a grocery store, we can't look at it the same way just because we
Yeah.
understand all the
Stress.
mechanisms that are
Sure.
in place in order to get it there.
So what would you say, like, to our listeners, like, where can they find you right now, and what does the future look like for Mike and Mike's?
Absolutely. So
Yeah, this was a feat to get into.
yeah, it was. Yeah. So Publix Greenwise, Chamberlain's, Earth Origins, and then
The big old
hopefully in the next week we'll be launching into every single Publix.
Oh,
Holy crap.
wow.
How many stores are they at now?
About
1351.
51.
Wow.
Yep.
Bro, congratulations.
talking
That's
about.
huge.
Yeah,
That's
thank you.
massive,
Yeah,
man.
that's huge.
Super
So they
good.
There's a
ran you
feat.
out in like a test, like
Yeah, we were in Greenwise for a year and a half to just kind of treading the water and really figuring it out. But we love Publix, man. They
Yeah.
really helped us. The
well, you have
buyers.
to educate
Yeah.
the customer. That's got to be a problem
Right.
because they don't think
Right.
like these cupcakes are bad for me or they're like not that good, but these are great. Like I can eat these and I can bring these to my kid's school,
Absolutely.
and I'm not gonna like be sued by some kid.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right. Right.
Because that's
yeah,
a
right.
that's
Yeah.
That's
For
huge.
sure.
I
Yeah,
mean,
there's
I-
a lot of education. There's a lot of
Yeah.
learnings. We would go sample stores at Publix Greenwise and talk to the consumer one-on-one and explain to them why we're doing what we're doing. And because originally it's just market testing. We put
Yeah.
vegan on the label. A lot of people were deterred. Oh, vegan doesn't taste good. So we just removed that and had different call outs instead. But
that's
yeah,
wild.
yeah,
That's smart, though, man.
Yeah.
yeah.
Because I mean, like, when we first started the show, just to show you how much labels matter, Apple had us categorized as one thing,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and then we changed it, like, I don't know, 6 months into it, because we were like, wait a minute, like, yeah, because people like, if you're
They had us under news.
yeah, exactly, and so they
Oh,
sign
got
in
it.
and they hear
Got
our
it.
goofy selves,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, this is
I'm not trusting
news.
anything these guys say, right? And but I get that, man, and so I think for our listeners who aren't from, the Southeast U.S. or even the U.S., Europe, South America, Publix is massive, right? Publix is the king of kings in our state. First of all, second of all, like it is the go-to grocery store for a good chunk of the U.S. and the Southeast, and so this is a massive feat.
Yeah.
That's huge, man.
Very respected retailer in the country, basically.
Right.
Everybody knows what Publix is.
Yeah.
We both used to work at Publix.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool.
So it's
Full
a
circle.
full circle
Come on, man.
moment, man, for us.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That-
It really is.
So what do you think, man? Like, what's the next 5 years look like? First 5 years was turmoil and figuring stuff out. What's the next 5 years look like?
Scaling, and I mean, honestly, we've always been, Mike and I have always talked about, we're convinced that we have the capability of kind of overtaking the current artificial cupcakes that are on the market
That's
and just
what
kind of
I'm
flipping
Yeah.
it. Setting a new standard would be
Yeah.
awesome.
Well, honestly, and there's a lot. I mean, every person who's listening right now that has allergies or has a kid that has allergies and this kind of stuff, they've got your back, obviously. But I think any person, if you give them an A and a B choice and go, hey, here's the 55 chemicals in one,
Yeah.
here's ours, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
90% of the people are going to go, no, give me something better for me. You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
Yeah,
That
for
still
sure.
tastes
Yep,
good.
For sure.
Especially when the taste is there.
For
You
sure.
win them every time.
Yeah.
Well, dude, getting it out there, man, like that education, like
cool.
Josh said, is the biggest thing. And so
Absolutely.
whatever we can do to help. Dude, we're honored that you came on tonight.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
Yeah,
Truly, we do.
it's
we got
awesome.
and we got some here. If we could have them over here. What flavors are these that you brought tonight?
vanilla and chocolate. We weren't able to
The
we weren't able to
classics,
get
man,
the
the
strawberry.
classics.
Strawberries,
Well,
yeah.
I already said I'm a vanilla guy. So
Yeah.
I mean, you can probably tell by looking at me, but I'm saying like I also love the flavor vanilla.
These are the standards. These are the big boys.
These are the standards.
these are
Yeah,
standard
and these
size.
are what's going into Publix. Yep.
cool.
Yep.
This is what's going. And by the way, I love your logo, dude. Like
Yeah.
these are
And
incredible.
it's recent. Like
It is, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
see.
If you pay
I-
attention,
I
see
pay
that.
attention,
I see
yeah.
that. Yeah.
Doing his homework. I love
I'm
it.
not just orbiting. I'm
Okay,
watching.
okay.
All right, so I'm gonna definitely partake. Josh is gonna partake, but how about you guys? All right, I mean, this is a great question, actually.
How many?
Wait,
How many cupcakes have you eaten?
yeah, I mean, like between the two of you,
A lot. Thousands.
We ate a lot, but I don't eat them as.
Oh, is it like a
As
wine
much
thing where you
anymore.
spit it out?
It's more tasting because we call it cutting test. So
Okay.
we'll try the
wow.
product. Make
That's
sure
what
the
I'm gonna
standard's
start
good.
calling
Yeah.
me at the buffet.
Yeah.
It's a cutting test. I'm at wings.
no, I just want to say here, man, because
Oh, look, this guy ripped right through it.
who me?
Yeah.
I have very strong hands when it comes
Oh,
to
wow.
product containers. Now this is
I wish I had like some clamps or something I could grab this with.
for a primary audio show. For
I'm
those.
not eating this and getting photos taken.
Yeah, boy, it looks like what's happening, man.
Yeah.
I want people to know there's gonna be some silence. It's because we're indulging right now,
Yeah.
and with my mustache. If
Can
you
we
want
get the room to also try?
yeah,
Absolutely.
please. And if you
Please,
want to pay to see this, you want to see me get icing all over my face. It's patreon.com/FMOFM podcast, and I'll do anything you ask, man, for money.
Boom, baby.
I see that.
This is the
The
moment
sandwich.
here.
Yeah, this is the
This
moment.
is the moment.
Okay. All right. I
Oh,
can't
God.
do it with this.
Did we live up to the hype? You know?
Yeah, 100%. I'm about to pass out. So good.
Okay, that's really good.
Okay, why is this still so good though? Even though you took out all the poison.
It's the formulation. You know, you don't want to be too far away from the artificial, but you still want to have that healthy component to it.
Yeah, some people go a little bit too far, and then you kind of lose
No,
the
this is
the
the
general
perfect-
general.
This is a
the
perfect
everyday
balance.
consumer. you know?
Correct.
This is
Yeah.
perfect, man. And let me say something. This is people. This is what blows me away. And I'm not blowing smoke, man. I'm serious. What blows me away? People crave familiarity,
Correct.
right? So this is insane to me that this is the healthier option. But that's insane to me.
Yeah.
Word.
Because honest to God, like if I didn't know you guys like not shooting it, man, just having it is delicious. It tastes familiar.
Yeah, I'm kind of speechless.
Well, I mean,
It's so good.
look at what he did to it.
Yeah,
Look what he did to y'all's baby. Look at
I wrecked it.
The sandwich.
It's gone.
The sandwich.
That's pride. I'm bringing a tear to their eye.
It's
They see this destruction?
We're working on something that's specific to people like you that eat cupcakes like that. So yeah.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Overweight people?
my man said people like you.
Yeah.
Called him fat, Nate.
Overweight podcast.
called you
no,
fat.
no.
Dang.
No.
No, he said people who eat it like that.
It's like a variation of a hostess.
Wherever
like
keeps
that.
it coming, baby. I don't care.
You're
Call me
vegan
what you
strong.
I'm being strong now.
Vegan strong.
Amelia Simmons was born March 11th, 1778.
Wow. Okay.
So we're talking,
She's
200 years old.
yeah, she's pretty old there.
she's old, man.
Yeah.
Amelia had a very interesting upbringing in the fact that she was actually an orphan. So she never actually belonged to like an official orphanage.
Like
so
humans. She never belonged to humans.
Yeah. So she had like random families that would occasionally, in different parts of her childhood, take her in and take care of her. But for one reason or another, they would decide to like relinquish custody. So like they would
Bad kid.
well, no, I don't think she's a bad kid, but could have been. But they would find her, feel bad for her, and then realize I don't want to take care of a kid, and they would
Wow.
and so they would just she would found herself through this endless
Sad
cycle of
times.
like family,
Jeez.
homeless, family,
Yeah.
homeless, and she's a child. Like it wasn't like she was a teenager at the time; she was a
Right.
child, right?
Okay.
So, and that was the trend of like random families taking care of her and then getting rid of her. So, without a permanent place to call home, without a family, without any sort of formal education, it would be easy to believe that Amelia's story like wouldn't have a happy ending, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna go ahead and get out in front of that before I bum all you guys out.
You would think so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm
yes.
not going to bum you guys out. It has a very happy ending. So Amelia realized at a young age that she not only needed to take care of herself, but she needed to teach other children who were in similar situations how to do so as well. So she's like, hey, man, I'm trying to survive. This is what
Okay.
I've learned. Let me teach you guys as well. And so what she started to do is she began keeping a journal of food items that could be readily found.
Like a composition notebook.
Kind of, yeah,
There you go.
My man.
like that. Yeah,
cute.
she kept a composition notebook
Yeah.
of food items that were readily available along the American countryside.
Okay.
So she was
Okay.
like, "This is what I can find to eat."
Barley.
Essentially,
Okay.
yeah,
That's the only thing I know. Yeah. I don't know any other.
Josh would
ingredients.
starve if it was if he was in Amelia's shoes. But no, that's what she would do is she would look for like vegetables and fruits, any items that grew naturally along the countryside. But then also she would look for items that were in abundance because of the surrounding like farming communities.
Okay.
So if they were growing potatoes and there was miles and miles of potatoes,
Nice.
she would be like, "Hey, this is the address.
Yeah.
You can skim
Yeah,
some off the
yeah,
edge, and you're gonna be good."
Oh, like a hobo, like a train hobo, where they got their own language.
Yeah, but it's like
Sophisticated.
right? Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. It's a
Yeah.
system, just
Got
like
it. That's
so.
cool.
She had this for herself, and she started keeping a list and passing it out to other orphans
Okay.
and going, "This is how you survive."
Yeah.
Right? So
Steal potatoes.
essentially,
Those guys out there.
essentially, Amelia Simmons, she'd make the list, and then she would travel around to visit not just orphanages, but like homeless communities.
Okay.
So she would go and like, look, wherever someone's in need, I'm going to teach them how to take care of themselves.
Yeah. Here's
Now-
a piece of paper.
Yeah, here's a list, and
Right.
here's where to find it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at this point, she's like a teenager.
Okay.
So like her whole like childhood life has been like, I'm struggling. I'm gonna help take care of people, right? So she starts doing this, and she becomes so successful and so well known by doing this that folks are coming to her and going like, "Hey, you're the little girl that's passing out these distribution lists, right? Like where to find
Okay.
food and all this
Right.
different stuff. We're gonna give you money
Okay.
to compile similar lists for like our neighborhoods and our towns."
Okay. So
Oh,
she was
wow.
like the Johnny Appleseed of lists.
In a way.
Okay.
So, like for example, if there's a small town where like the mayor was like, "Hey, is it true that you know where?" I mean, because here's the thing: like she was struggling, but it's not like if you lived in a town, you weren't like necessarily well off back then,
Right.
You could still be hurting for food,
Mhm.
And there's also like, I guess, not a known thing of where to get stuff.
right?
I
right.
mean, you guys would know. Like, how do you find a co-packer that doesn't do nuts?
You got to do research.
Yeah.
You have to do
You
research.
need, someone had to make a list.
a lot of googling right
Amelia.
there.
This, this is Amelia, and so she essentially was making grocery lists and like farming lists for these small communities. So she's graduated from just helping folks who are really struggling to helping whole communities
Cool.
kind of survive and set up systems in their town. And so it kind of started off as like a ministry of sorts, but it began to blossom in a way for this orphan teenager to make a living. And so a few years into this process, Amelia began not only listing easy to find foods, but also adding easy to locate herbs and seasonings to kind of spice up the dishes.
Wow.
Okay.
Hence the barley.
Okay. Yeah. That's where I got it from.
So it was out of order. It
Yeah.
was potatoes and
future.
veggies first, and then the barley.
yeah.
Right. So now she's spicing it up, and she's going,
Okay.
"Hey, you want my
Yeah.
list?"
Barley, the known spice.
This is where you
the
can
Cajun cuisine.
This is where you can find some pepper, right? So, but she's teaching them now not only how to find the food,
Okay.
but kind of how to prep it and make
Season
it,
it, yeah.
season it, make it a little better. And so this entire situation came to a head in 1796 when Amelia Simmons published the first cookbook in history to be written by an American. And so
Okay.
Full
essentially
circle.
everything
Wow.
that she was doing to survive, she eventually turns into what is a book. And no one in the U.S. had ever written a cookbook before. She was the first
Okay.
one. This orphan, homeless teenager
Yep.
was the first one to write one, publish it, and have it distributed like
So
massively.
normally recipes are just handed down.
Right, through families. No,
That's
100%.
family.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And so she
Cupcake
did.
recipes, you never know.
Right.
She collected it
right.
all. Well, it gets better. The book was called American Cookery. I don't know why it's funny to me. And it used culinary terms that were unique to Americans and also featured ingredients that were readily available to the average everyday American citizen.
Like gator tail.
Well, yeah. So like, whatever. What?
Florida man pie.
Yeah,
Florida
exactly.
man, yeah.
So whatever your region is,
Ah.
like that cookbook had like, hey, you live in Florida. This is what you can
Got
use
it.
to find and
Yeah.
make meals for your family, right?
Wow.
This is what the cookbook was like. And so now you're probably asking yourself, like, this is pretty cool. Amelia Simmons wrote the first cookbook. What's that got to do with us, right?
Right.
Yeah.
To answer your question,
Turns out you're related. You're both related. Yeah, we did DNA test. We,
relative,
got
man.
soda can out of the garbage.
Ancestry.
I actually
Oh,
pricked you
wow.
guys at the meeting we had and got you.
Yeah.
No, so the sales of the American Cookery book allowed Amelia to experiment further with her culinary skills. And a few months after releasing the book, she invented the cupcake.
No
So-
way.
What do you
Yeah.
mean invented?
So because
That's cool. Wow.
the ingredients and the resources were so scarce, she wanted to create a way for like underprivileged Americans to have a cake, but they couldn't afford to make like a
big
full blown
cake.
cake. So she would scale it down and then put it
She
into
had to
cups.
invent the cupcake pan also.
The whole process.
Wow.
So the cupcake was
Crazy.
invented by a homeless
Yeah.
kid, essentially. I mean,
Wow.
it sounds funny, but it's
Yeah, that's
we were
awesome.
trying to find a way. 'Cause we always end the episode with telling a story.
That's your key
a
demographic.
historical
though.
story.
Homeless
Yeah.
kids.
Homeless kids.
Yeah, and me.
Like-
No,
Yeah.
but no, but I found it because I
Wow,
was looking for a
wow.
way to tie it in, and then I found the cookbook story first. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of ties in. And I'm going through things that because it said author and inventor, and I was like,
Cool.
well, what you invent? And then I googled that, and I was like, the
Cupcake?
Come on, that's ordained,
Yeah.
man. We got to bring him on.
And what was her last name?
Amelia Simmons.
Amelia
Yeah,
Simmons.
that's really
Amelia
cool.
Simmons.
That's really
Wow.
dope.
So we wanted to share the cupcake.
That's it. Though she only invented a cupcake.
I think so.
Okay, the book and the cupcake. I mean, that's solid.
Yeah. But that's the
It's a good
origin story,
foundation right
man.
there.
Yeah. So speaking of, so she's the originator. You guys are the Cupcake Kings, man. Like,
Yeah.
Like that's what we're giving you guys.
She
at.
invented, you perfected.
That's
what we
right.
like to
There
say
you-
here
there you
between
go.
Wayne
There
and
you
I.
go.
That's
about
right,
you
man.
guys.
Yeah.
Okay. for
But
sure.
so speaking of which, man, Mike and Mike's like, first off, thank you for coming on.
Yes.
Thanks for sharing your story here. Congrats on Publix. That's incredible.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
We
we
can't even
appreciate
stress
it.
that enough. Where can our listeners find you guys, man? Like, where are you located online?
Yeah, so you can check us out at Mike and Mike's Desserts on Instagram. We're on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Mike and Mike are a little bit more active on LinkedIn. You can www.mikeandmikesdesserts.com. Currently Chamberlain's and Publix Greenwise. And by the time you're listening to this, you should be able to find our product in
Your
most of
neighborhood
the
Publix.
Lakeland stores.
That's what I'm talking about.
And then hopefully the majority of the rest of the public stores the week after that. And
That's
we're-
incredible.
Yeah,
insane.
which is awesome. And we're
And then
located.
you turn into instant millionaires overnight.
I wish it was that simple, man.
Yeah.
It's not quite like Shark
In
Tank.
theory.
You know, it's a
Yeah.
little bit more.
It costs more to
a
make
little bit more grinding.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. And then at Publix, we're actually in the freezer section right next to the Carville Cakes.
Yep.
Come
Awesome.
on, man. Well, I
Yep.
know which one I'm choosing.
Yeah.
And honestly, I'm trying to do the math in my head. At our Halloween party, I think we do Mike and Mike cupcakes.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah,
I think we
'cause-
got to give
there
some
you go.
away
We
too.
appreciate it.
Dope.
100%, we will do that, man. And we partner with you guys to maybe give some away to some listeners and
Yeah,
stuff like
for
that.
sure,
And,
for
Absolutely.
sure.
Cool.
Absolutely.
because we want everybody to experience it, man. Thank you for coming on.
No, we
Yeah,
appreciate
Thanks
it.
for hanging
Yes,
with
we
us.
appreciate it.
Thanks for
Seriously.
having
Each
us.
pack that we give away,
Thank
there
you.
may be one or two missing.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's just their packaging.
Yeah,
That's
don't,
not
don't-
us.
th-
That's not
Hey,
us.
don't believe that, guys. Don't believe that.
no. I will say if we're gonna give some away, I can't be the one doing it because
Amen.
it won't. They're gonna show up in empty just packages and torn apart like an animal got
Gotta
a hold
follow
of
the
it.
cake crumbs.
They'll
man.
know it's
Come on.
me,
Right back
bro.
to him.
Yeah.
Well done, guys. That's
Oh,
it,
yeah.
man.
Wow.
That's it, bro.
Dope.
You
Thanks,
killed.
guys.
Yeah.